If you're a Phoenix Suns fan, it was a thing of beauty tonight in Los Angeles. If you're a fan of basketball generally, maybe not so much.
Why not?
Because it was ugly Game 4 win for the Phoenix Suns.
You used to the millennial-style basketball where they score 130, 40 points. And
I don't need that.
Each other.
I don't need that.
Zeke and I used to this type of basketball.
I like competition.
I don't need that either.
I like competition, and I saw two teams competing.
Yes.
That don't mean you have to score a lot of points, but they were competing.
It was dramatic. Yeah, it was competitive.
Yeah.
But it was ugly.
What do you think playoff basketball is supposed to be ugly when you get down to this point? Because everybody know each other's tendencies right now.
That ugly?
Yes. Dude, I played for the Pacers and we played the Knicks. He played for Detroit. You talking about ugly, go back and look at some of our playoff games.
Well, they played physical. It wasn't always ugly. They played very physical.
We scored.
The 90s, that was a whole
different. It was ugly. I played against him. Trust me. You got battered and bruised and blooded.
Yeah, y'all did. But we averaged 108 points a game.
I was going to say, but they scored.
We did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all got bloodied and beat up. Yeah. We averaged 108 points a game.
Y'all started holding in the locker room.
That's Isaiah Thomas, Sam Mitchell. I'm Matt Weiner. Phoenix wins it 84-80. They shoot 36% and come out with a 3-1 series lead. Clippers shot under 33%, and the two teams combined were 9 of 51 from three-point range. On top of that, there was just a whole bunch of stuff at the end of that game in terms of execution, in terms of calls made and reviews. I don't know what we're going to see. Our producer, Steve Timlin, has put together all kinds of clips here from the end of the game.
He understands how to go to the line, make free throws, even though he missed one, but he still knows how to close out the game. The point guards, know how to close out the game, and Chris Paul did that. I thought the Clippers blew a lot of opportunities by intentionally missing free throws with a lot of time left on the clock.
All right, let's get right to the microphone in Los Angeles. Reggie Jackson first up, among one of the uglier shooting lines of the night, 8 of 24. There were a bunch of them. He's not alone in that regard.
His look pretty good compared to some of the other.
Compared to some, not bad.
22, 6 for 22.
He had 20. His Clippers now facing elimination when they head back to Phoenix.
You guys stay positive at the end, even when you couldn't score after getting stops. How much heart does this team have? Is there more in the tank?
Definitely more in the tank. We know we're focused on getting one more game. Got to go in there into a hostile environment, but the most important thing is figure out how we can be better from this game. I feel like we played well defensively. I got to play better offensively. We got to move the ball, find some easy shots. And the easy ones that we did have tonight, we felt like we'll go in next game. So unfortunate break, but we're ready for the challenge.
Cam, you can go ahead.
Hey, Reggie. Obviously a tough loss. How difficult in the fourth quarter was it to generate? It was very difficult, obviously, to generate points. What was the challenge as you saw it? Was it from what they were doing or what from you guys were doing?
No, they were playing very solid defense. They were trying to force us, funnel us to certain spots on the court. But we felt like we had some good looks. It just didn't fall. Some of them that we did have, we passed up on them. So we just put ourselves in late shot clock situations at times, and then a couple key turnovers at the end. So we feel like we can be better, but we're going to watch the film, go out here, and our main focus is going to Phoenix in a hostile environment and get Game 5.
Thanks, Reggie.
No problem.
Let's go to Joe Riddy.
Hey, Reggie, it seemed like in the fourth quarter, for 3-4 minutes, the game was stuck on 71-70 there. Just those trips down the floor, was it their defense or poor shot selection that you guys couldn't get over the hump there?
No, I mean, we had some good looks. Shots just wouldn't drop, unfortunately. They did a good job all night trying to corral the ball. They played well. They came out and hit early. Felt like we took a good punch, came back and battled. But, in that fourth quarter, we wish we could have got some buckets to go. Like I said, we're going to watch film, figure out ways to be better. Hopefully make some of those looks that we had in the next game in Game 5, and then just figure out another way to attack them offensively. So it's a game of adjustments. I think they made a great adjustment tonight. They were fortunate enough to come out with the win, unfortunate for us. But, this team has a lot of fight. We have a lot of fight. We have a lot of belief, a lot of faith in ourselves, and a never say die mentality. So we're ready to go for Game 5.
Go ahead, Owen. Reggie, I was just about to ask you, you guys have come back from down 2-0. You guys staved off elimination in the first round, but this is 3-1. And how does that feel any different?
No. I mean, we've been down before. It's tough. We've got our backs against the wall. We've been in elimination games. So I think this team's ready. This team's confident. We're going to figure out, like I said, how to be better. Myself especially, I got to figure out how to be better. Help the team find a great shot every time down the court. And I think we're just looking forward to this challenge.
Go ahead, Ramon.
Hey, Rich. Because this is 17 games in 36 days in these playoffs here. How are your legs? I know we're all looking at why there's so many missed shots in this game. Do you think fatigue contributes to it, either from your side or from both sides?
Possibly can be. We're fortunate enough to be one of the 4 teams still standing. It is what it is. It's a battle of attrition right now. Guys are doing everything they can to make sure that they get their rest, that they're recovered, and they come back in the best possible shape that they can to find a way to be successful. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy schedule. It's going fast, but we've all been dealt the same cards, so we know we got to get ready for this challenge on Game 5, and it's going to be a mental battle. It's going to be a mental battle, and then, of course, it's going to be a physical battle between 2 great teams.
Thanks, we'll go to Rashawn.
Hey, Reggie. It's considering what you did on the defensive end, how much tougher does it make this loss, and how did you begin to start to turn the page?
Any loss is tough at this point, at this juncture of the season. So, but to play that well defensively, and like I said, to be stuck at 71-70 for so long, and not necessarily, break that and get the lead and try to push the score a little bit, it was a little difficult. Felt like we were battling uphill from the way that they started the game off tonight. Hats off to the way that they came out. Like I said, I think this team is resilient. This team is mentally tough. Where everybody's already, I'm sure, focusing on what they're doing back there, recovering, making sure we're going to get ready to get this rest, get on this plane, go to Phoenix, and make sure we come out of there with a Game 5 win.
Thanks, Reggie.
Appreciate it.
Season, they're now 1 win away from the NBA Finals. Here's head coach Monty Williams.
It's something we've tried to rely on all season long, is just having an attitude of not giving in and being relentless in a number of areas, but our poise was tested tonight, and I thought we fared well responding to their third quarter when we couldn't score and the ball was going in and out. We were able to get enough stops, and I thought it was a great response to the talk we had yesterday about competing. We competed at the highest level that I've seen from us all season long, especially on the defensive end. And, we just have to, have a great deal of balance with our emotions and handle this the right way, not get too far ahead. Yes, we are 1 win away from where we want to go, but we got to look at the film, prepare even better, and step by step pound the rock over the next couple of days so that we can be better when we play this team again, because we know we're going to see a desperate team.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republican and Dave McMenamin.
Coach, you said that it's hard to win in this league. Is that the epitome of that tonight?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, playing a team like that in front of a crowd like that, and constantly seeing your shots go in and out, in and out, in and out. That was, a testament to the character and integrity and toughness of our guys. Every time out, it was all about defense. Nobody was talking about anything from the offensive side, nor should we, because we couldn't score. We just couldn't put it in the hole. And I thought DeAndre's presence, his effort, the rebounding, shot blocking, his communication on defense, switching out on smaller guys and being able to guard them. He was the catalyst tonight on the defensive end. I thought it was an unreal performance from him, and our guys rallied around him. And then the execution down the stretch to be able to, foul when we needed to and box out and, hit the free throws necessary to win the game. It's all the stuff you work on all season long. A lot of it paid off tonight, especially when you couldn't score the ball, but that was a slugfest. That's what playoff basketball is all about. So I'm just proud of our team, but also in the mode of, getting our minds right and preparing for a tough game, because we know that's what it's going to be.
When did you decide, Coach, that we're going to foul? We're going to foul them intentionally. At what point would you think we could?
Well, I think the analytics, there's different pieces of data that we've read. Some people say 7, some say 11. I think when you have Chris and Book who can knock down free throws, and Jay as an inbounder when you can execute and get the ball in bounds, we decided to do it a lot further out from a time perspective. So I think we started at about 17, if I'm not mistaken. And we just trust Chris and Devin in those moments. And in that moment, it was Chris pretty much going to get the ball and understanding that he can't give them a jump ball, and you have to go to the ball. And then Jay being able to put the ball on the button. We just decided to trust Chris with the ball to shoot free throws, and then we just fouled. We didn't want to give them a chance to, get a 3 off.
Next is Dave McMenamin with ESPN, and then Kellen Olson.
Why you guys went up by 16, Clippers cut it to 1,
Yeah.
and they never got over the hump.
Yeah.
How important was that for you? And I think when it was 71-70,
Yeah.
both teams combined, it missed like 14 or 15.
Yeah, it was unreal, right? It wasn't offense 101 for sure, but the poise, we've been talking about it all season long, understanding that they were going to make that kind of run. We didn't think we were going to miss that many shots, but one of our pillars is defense. I think every NBA team has a pillar that revolves around defense, and tonight it was on display. They missed some shots, but I feel like the pressure over the course of the game, when you compete like that, everybody's tired. And so it wasn't a surprise to me to see that many shots missed. But again, I thought DA's ability to anchor the middle and then his ability to switch out onto guys and guard. There was a skirmish under the basket where the ball was bouncing all over the place, and DA was right in the middle, and I think somebody tried to shoot the ball under the basket and he just swatted it. I thought his fingerprints were all over that side of the ball tonight, and we had a BOB and we ran a pick for him, and Chris throws the ball where nobody else can go get it. DA goes and dunks the ball. Like he was all over the place tonight. That's the kind of player that he can be. He basically won that game for us tonight. He was tremendous.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Gina Mizell.
Hey, Monty, in the fourth quarter, when the offensive shots kept going in and out of
Yeah.
them, before that, things kind of spiraled a bit. You talk about poise all year.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a game that's going to come to mind for you now when you think of poise in terms of the way you guys kept defending?
No doubt. I mean, we've been in these situations, but certainly not on this stage where you have a decent lead and all you're thinking is, let's just maintain it or increase it. It came out in the third quarter and scored 30 points, and we had a 19. And so at that point, you're just relying on your defense, relying on execution, but you're also relying on the mental stamina that we've been talking about for 2 years. We saw it on display tonight, and every time Chris and I made eye contact, he was like, both of us were like, we're good, that kind of thing. Him more than me, in those situations, but we've been talking about it, and it was just really cool to see our guys put that type of mental stamina on display on the road in a cool environment. Even though it was against you, our guys just stayed the course.
To quickly follow up, you went with Abdul for a couple of minutes there. How'd you like what you saw out of him?
I just think we need what he brings to the table. It's a tough spot for him to be in. I thought the drive he had on Kennard from the corner, like that's who he is. That's a tough first game to come back in. But I like the fact that he can guard, he can rebound, he's a big body, he moves his feet, and we think he's going to be able to help us going forward.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, followed by Mark Schwartz.
Hey, Monty, you kind of just touched on it, but we talked so much about Chris's value in crunch time, and usually you think of making a game-winning shot or in addition to game-winning pass, but just to sink those free throws, to have the poise, all that. I mean, it kind of feel like this just captures why you guys wanted him and what he's meant to your group.
I mean, my job's not easy by any stretch, but when you have Chris in those moments, there's a level of trust that we both have. I know he wants the ball. I know he'll go get it. And, you know, not many guys are willing to go up to that line with confidence and knock those free throws down. You know, when he missed the one, I know he wanted to, you know, he was pretty tough on himself. But at that point, I was pretty confident in what we were doing as far as fouling and not allowing them to get off a three. But there's a great deal of trust in those moments, and Book wasn't out there with them. Usually we have both of those guys, and Jay is an inbounder, and Mikhail is in the middle, so you have him as a safety, but Chris wants the ball in those situations.
Next is Mark Schwartz with ESPN, followed by Jovan Buha.
Monty, along those same lines, the trust and the eye contact and the knowledge, the connection that you have with a guy who, by his own admission, I couldn't make a damn shot. How did you know that Chris would take care of this when everything was going horribly wrong on the offensive end?
He's just done it so many times. He did it when we were in New Orleans. You know, he's done it with us this season when he was with other teams. Like, he was always the guy to go get the ball. So, you know, he's not afraid of those moments. And it's all about winning for Chris. It could have been taking a charge. It just so happened to be a free throw situation. It's something we work on, something we walk through, but, you know, those guys like Chris just want the ball in those situations because they want to win the game. It's not about anything else but winning the game.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by Greg Moore.
Hey, Monty, you talked about DeAndre's contributions, and I'm curious about the offensive rebounding specifically. He had 9, and then you also had Jay and Mikhail, who each had 3. How important was that with how poor you guys were shooting and just kind of eating the clock a little bit, especially in that fourth?
I mean, if you're going to miss that much, you hope to get some of them back, you know, so DA's ability to keep balls in play, you know, without going over the back, like, he's one of the best I've ever seen of, you know, getting up in the air and reaching over and tipping it to himself. But to your point, to have that many guys, or 3 guys get that many offensive rebounds is huge for us. It's something that I was not comfortable with before this season, going to the boards that much. I was always get 3-4 guys back. Kevin Young has pretty much forced us to do it, and it's really helped us this year, you know, unleashing Mikhail and Cam and Jay and you know, Torrey has been really good at that this season for us to get us extra possessions. So it was certainly valuable for us tonight with the way we shot the ball.
On the 2 questions are Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic and Gerald Brigay.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for the time. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. That 5-minute cold stretch in the fourth quarter where you guys were stuck on 71. So first, I can't remember this group ever being that cold. But do grindhouse games like that, do they favor you all or the Clippers? Are you okay going into a grindhouse defensive affair on Monday?
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with anything other than winning. But I think in those moments, it's not even about comfort level. It's just about winning the game and doing whatever it takes. You know, there was a game, I think, with Brooklyn had a game this year that was in the 70s, 80s. You know, when you have playoff basketball and it's physical and everybody knows your sets, sometimes you're going to have a game like that. I'm just glad we won it. So I'm not quite sure I'm ever comfortable in those situations, but I'm just glad we won it. And to be able to do it on the road is special. To your point, we haven't had games like that this year where we just couldn't put the ball in the basket, but I'm glad when we did have an output like that, we were able to win the game.
Final question is Gerald Brigay with Fansided.
Hey, Coach, kind of related. The three-point shot hasn't really been falling for you guys for most of this series. Have you been, I mean, obviously this game tonight was just a slugfest in that regard, but have you been happy with the quality of shots that you're getting from long range, or is that just a matter of kind of needing to make shots?
No, they've played really good defense on us. I mean, when you switch as well as they do, the reason teams switch is to take away the three-point shot. I mean, that's switching, in theory, keeps you out of rotations. Most threes are generated in transition off of pushing the ball or pick and rolls where the big dives, you go help and you give up a three in the corner or the wing. So when you switch, you tend to not give up as many threes, and they switch as much as anybody in the league other than Brooklyn. So I think that's part of the deal. They got up more threes than we did tonight, but they probably take more off the dribble threes with Paul and Reggie than most teams. So my hope is that we shoot the ball better the next game, but I hope our defense continues to hold form the way that it did tonight.
Thank you for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Postseason, what's it like in that 5-minute stretch for you? How painful is it after miss after miss? When Phoenix is missing two, opening the door.
Yeah, just talking to our guys, we had I think 12 possessions in the fourth quarter to take the lead, and just couldn't get over that hump. So I mean, it happens. I'm just proud of where our guys competed and fought, all night, and holding this team to 34 points in the second half with their, powerful offense, and then we had a foul, I think, for 6 of those down the stretch. But our guys fought, we competed, couldn't make shots. Thought we got, took it personal a few times where we just kind of over dribble sometimes. But for the most part, when you're competing, that's going to happen. But like I said, I'm proud of our guys for the way we competed, and we just got to make some shots. That's it.
For the most accurate free throw shooting team in the NBA.
Say it again?
For the most accurate free throw shooting team in NBA history this year. Does that come down to legs?
It could be, but there's no excuses. This time in the season, guys could be a little tired, but we just got to fight through it. And like I said, I have no problem with the way we fought, the way we competed. Every single guy on the floor gave us what they had, and offensively, like I said, we just didn't have it tonight.
There? Go ahead. How frustrating is it when you guys fight so hard to come back and then to kind of just not see those shots go down on the floor?
That's frustrating, but you gotta just keep plugging away. There's nothing you can do about it. Keep getting stops on the other end, which we did. Guys, like I said, was great defensively tonight. And, offensively, just keep attacking, keep trying to get to the rim. I thought in the second half we made a little adjustment, with Zoo in the pick and rolls. It really opened it up for PG and Reggie a little bit to get downhill, which was good. And, you hate to see that, especially on your home floor, not being able to make shots and, fighting all the way back from 16 down to have a chance to take the lead. And, but, hats off to them. They made some big plays down the stretch, to win the game. And, hats off to our guys for competing and playing the way they did. So I'm proud of our guys.
Go ahead, Rachel.
So many of these games have come down to like this thin a margin. Can you see any plays where you can tip the balance so that this thin could be in your direction?
It's a few plays, here and there, but like I said, they've made the plays, down the stretch, with the Aiden Tippany with .9, and tonight, like you said, we had a chance to take the lead, 12 possessions and didn't do it. So we had opportunities, like I said, and it just didn't fall for us.
Will you guys follow up with the league on the decision not to review the guidelines?
No, I'm not a big complainer, but it just, it's crazy because everybody talks about it because they got the review and got a .9 timeout, with Aiden, and then not review it. When it comes down the stretch to a close game like this, I think you just have to, just check out just to be sure. And they didn't do it, so that didn't have nothing to do with turning and changing the game. We still could have played better, but it's just part of it.
Go ahead, Al.
You guys have overcome 2-0 deficits. You guys staved off elimination in Dallas in that game 6. How does this feel different being down 3-1?
Just got to take it one game at a time. Just focus on Monday's game. That's it. Not focus on winning 3 games. Got to take it one game at a time, and that's got to be our mindset. We beat Utah, was #1 in the West 4 games in a row. So it's very doable. We just got to make sure we're locked in understand what we're trying to do offensively. I think we got to be a lot better offensively to beat this team.
Go ahead, Lyle.
Ty, when it comes to the offense, I mean, you saw at 4 minutes you're already down 14-2. Was it at that point going to just be a stroll just for the fact that whatever you wanted to do to start the game just didn't work and you were going to have that uphill climb for the rest of the night?
You just got to read the game and feel it out, Law, for the most part. But they got off to a good start. I thought they came out with a great physicality on the defensive end, switched a lot of stuff, took us out of our offensive flow and offensive rhythm. And I thought, on the offensive end, they got out in transition, made a couple of baskets, and kind of got them going. So we didn't start the game as great as we wanted to, but it's going to happen.
It seemed like second half the emphasis was in getting back to the paint, getting back to the rim. There weren't a lot of threes taken in that push where you almost made up the deficit in the third quarter. Was that something that you talked about at halftime?
Yeah, we just had to make an adjustment with Zoo and have him do something different. I'm not going to really talk about it, but which allowed our guys to get downhill a little bit more and get into the paint. So that was good for us. So I see that's something we can, use going into game 5. But first half I thought he did a great job of shrinking the floor. I thought Aiden did a great job of being up on the pick and rolls, and PG and Reggie really didn't have anywhere to go because it was a crowd. And so we made that adjustment in the second half, which was a little bit better for us. And if we don't have it, we still got to be able to make the play and get off of it. But they was handling the pick and roll 2-on-2, which really didn't give you a lot of outlets, once you ran the pick and roll. But we had some good shots early we didn't make, and that's just part of the game.
Go ahead,
Shane Young, you can go ahead.
Hey, Ty. How challenging was DeAndre tonight on the boards in particular? And did you see anything that you all could have done better in that regard to kind of limit him?
I mean, very challenging, and when you paying a lot of attention to CP and Devin, those guys attacking the basket, attacking the rim, our big's going to have to come over and help. And, having a smaller guy trying to box him out has been tough for us all series, and we know that. But, it's just part of it. You got to be more physical. I'm going to do a better job. And we got to do a better job just handling the pick and roll 2-on-2 so Zoo can kind of get back to his body to try to limit his offensive rebounds.